and welcome to Sort of My Podcast. My name is Vincent Herman, Vin The Human. We're going to be joined by Bob Collins, Bobb-A Fett, finally returning back to the podcast. But before we get into all of that, let's go ahead and talk trailers. We got one good one that came out recently, and that is the new Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer. The only thing I can say that would be any different from the last trailer I talked about would be that this one shows a lot more of the Titans, especially advertising the fighting. But I think that's meant to distract us from how much of a part the human characters are going to play, which was actually a lot of people's problem with the last film. I mean, don't get me wrong, these people look fine. Millie Bobby Brown is really good, but that's not what we want to see from these. I even loved everything about the last film's characters. Bryan Cranston, however, I felt like should have been more of a part of it. They kind of pulled the wool over our eyes on that one, advertising that he was pretty much going to be the main character, and then, spoilers, he dies pretty early. But all of that aside, that's not why we go see these movies. Sure, let the people be a part of it. And from the way this trailer looks, man, oh my god, these Titans, kaiju, whatever you want to call them, wow, they are... Any people involved in this are fucked. What are these people gonna do? How are they gonna solve this problem? They're just gonna have to let them fight, which is a great line from the first film. Anyways, looks fun. Looks like I'm gonna like it. I know I'm gonna like it. I like the last one. Is it gonna be the best Godzilla movie ever? Probably not. Most likely not. But hey, they still have my money. Moving on.
I really like that cheese Peroni.
Cheese Peroni? What is cheese Peroni? So what does that have to do with anything?
I just thought cheese and pizza, so I went Peroni.
Cheese Peroni. I guess that could be like pepperoni, like cheese stuffed pepperoni or something. Like if you were to hollow out a pepperoni log and like stuff it with cheese. I think we just came up with an amazing new snack.
I love how we were just talking about trailers and then we scratch all that off and talks about cheese Peroni.
Yeah, but you are right though. We do need to get back to it, and that's going to lead us into the news. First thing I want to talk about today, guys. Marvel released a few advertisements that boast Marvel history is destroyed just above the release date of March 2019. Some advertisements reading, who gave the Fantastic Four their powers? Who found Captain America on ice before the Avengers? Who saved Jean Grey from Dark Phoenix? And who brought Spider-Man back from Spider-Man No More, which, if you're not aware, took place in The Amazing Spider-Man number 50 through 52 and involved Peter Parker retiring over the lack of respect received from the general public. But not long after this, Marvel revealed that the Who in question was none other than the man who used to be Frank Castle, Cosmic Ghost Rider. It's a long, annoying story, and I'll get into that in a moment. But the event will be a 6-issue miniseries called Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys Marvel History by writers Paul Scheer and Nick Giovannetti, with art by Gerardo Sandoval. Now, getting back to the CGR here, co-created by Donny Cates and Jeff Shaw, Cosmic Ghost Rider hails from an alternate timeline in which Frank Castle was killed by Thanos, given the power of the Spirit of Vengeance by Mephisto, further enhanced with the power cosmic by Galactus, and then, in a twist, found himself in service of Thanos, as seen in his debut in 2017's Thanos number 13. Though never explained in detail, the usually stern Frank Castle was driven hilariously insane over the many thousands of years he spent pursuing Thanos, resulting in his uncharacteristic wisecracking humor. And going further, Marvel's press release actually says the story sees Cosmic Ghost Rider stuck in the past, and so he goes about rewriting the origins of the Marvel Universe. First of all, if you couldn't tell from my heartfelt explanation of the Cosmic Ghost Rider, I'm not a fan of this concept. I'm a big Punisher fan, and sometimes over the top works, and this is over the top. But to me, this is just ridiculous. It's just dumb. It's stupid, and it's fine on its own. If you're gonna make this like the Cosmic Ghost Rider is a thing that happens in the future, so it doesn't really affect the current continuity, fine. And it's an alternate reality, an alternate universe. But now what are they doing? Are they going to be rewriting the actual Marvel canon of the established continual universe? I guess you could say Earth 616. Or is this taking place in Cosmic Ghost Rider's alternate timeline? As far as I know, Cosmic Ghost Rider currently exists in 616 in the main Marvel continuity. So I'm thinking this is going to rewrite things, and what a stupid way to go about it. I mean these Marvel events are all over the place. I love the idea of the Spider-Man events, but stuff like this, like why? Why do we need this? I mean, I get it. Yeah, it's kind of like a meme anymore that Marvel rewrites its own history or reboots the continuity like every few years, but like this? It feels like they're just running out of ideas. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you excited to see this? Are you a fan of the Cosmic Ghost Rider? Are you not a fan of the Cosmic Ghost Rider? Do you have a better idea of how they should reset the Marvel Universe? And don't just give me, they shouldn't, because obviously they shouldn't keep doing that, but they're gonna. So if they're gonna anyways, what would you do? Leave it down in the comments below. Moving on, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Mandalorian cast. The Mandalorian being the first live-action Star Wars series set between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, and is set to release on the Disney Plus streaming service sometime in 2019, is going to follow the travails of a lone gunfighter in the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic. And for this milestone in the Star Wars canon, we actually got a full list of some of the characters that are going to show up in here. Well, not so much the characters, just the actors who will be in there. And we're going to go through these one by one. First up, though, in the titular role, Pedro Pascal, which you guys may know as the Viper on Game of Thrones, is going to be heading this thing up. Followed by Carl Weathers, who I hope you know, but in case you don't, is Apollo Creed from the Rocky franchise. He was in Predator, Action Jackson, Happy Gilmore, and so much TV. We also have Gina Carano, Angel Dust in Deadpool, Giancarlo Esposito, who is Gus Fring from Breaking Bad and is going to be Archie Brubaker in the upcoming Stargirl series, Emily Shallow, who was Amara on Supernatural, Omid Abatai, I gotta screw up at least one an episode, guys, who played Salim on American Gods, but more importantly, was the voice of Amiss, the Mandalorian Super Commando on the Clone Wars animated series, which may give you guys an idea who he might be playing in this show. Werner Herzog, the director of Grizzly Man and Nosferatu the Vampire. And finally, Nick Nolte. Son, I don't think you're familiar with him at all, but he was in 48 Hours, Cape Fear, Affliction, Breakfast of Champions, Tropic Thunder, a ton of stuff. He was a wildly interesting character as a human being in general, and not someone I would have ever guessed would step into a Star Wars role. But man, the rest of these all sound so good, and Nick Nolte isn't bad, so I'm actually kind of excited about this cast, especially that it may seem that they're going to be tying the Clone Wars into this, maybe with the character played by Omid. Again, we don't have any character reveals yet. We don't know who's going to be who, aside from Pedro Pascal playing the titular character, who we don't even have a name for. But I like this list. I like these actors. So this is shaping up to be pretty cool. I'm just geeked about a live-action Star Wars show anyways. I am a total fanboy. I will wear it proudly. I love so much of what they've been giving us, from comics to novels. Although I will admit, having started the Aftermath series, I was warned, and it is a slog, but I'm getting through it. We'll get to that third finale eventually. God, it's been hard, but I have really loved the comics, especially the Darth Vader comic. I love the movies. fuck all the hate for the Last Jedi, but that is just my take. Anyways, great cast so far. I can't wait to see what more we get out of this. I mean, and it's being done by the father of the MCU, Jon Favreau. But that does it for the news that is discussion worthy, and let's go ahead and jump into the phone booth.
It's time for the news, the phone booth news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the phone booth news, where I try to give you the news faster than Deadpool can save the day, which gives me 3 minutes, 45 seconds. Our intern, Vinny Wise, here is on the timer. Let me go ahead and open up my phone booth news script here. All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay, and go.
In comics news, Marvel has announced an all-new 5-issue limited series titled Domino Hotshots. In addition to Domino herself, this team-up will consist of Black Widow, White Fox, Atlas Bear, Outlaw, and Diamondback Rachel Lighton. And also teased a new event for Spider-Man titled Hunted, involving Kraven the Hunter, who recently turned vigilante, was announced. The series is slated for March 2019 and will be helmed by Nick Spencer and Humberto Ramos. DC has canceled the surprise hit Vertigo book Border Town due to allegations against the series writer Eric M. Esquivel. In TV news, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is officially returning to the role of John Winchester on Supernatural for its milestone 300th episode in February. Netflix announced that The Punisher Season 2 will release in January with no specific day revealed. And joining Frank Castle on Netflix, January 18th, will be the updated educational animated series Carmen Sandiego. The DC Universe app exclusive series Stargirl has cast Brian Stamp as Wildcat, Lou Ferrigno Jr. as Hourman, and Community alum Joel McHale as Starman himself. While the DCU app's upcoming Swamp Thing series adds Sharknado's Ian Ziering to its cast as the B-list hero Blue Devil. In movie news, very nice. In movie news, DC Daily has confirmed that Warner Brothers is developing a Plastic Man film, while Birds of Prey has added the Mindy Project's Chris Messina to its cast in the role of Victor Zsasz. And ahead of its stateside debut, Aquaman has earned $147.4 million in China alone and pushed past $200 million internationally. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Scott Derrickson, who directed the first film, has finalized a deal to return to helm Doctor Strange 2. When speaking with discussing film, Vin, enough of the background noise, please. Jeff Pinker, one of Venom's screenwriters, has confirmed that the sequel is in the works. Legendary Pictures has acquired the rights to hit cult franchise The Toxic Avenger. No planned specifics have been revealed. Sorry, I'm getting bleh. Benicio del Toro will be joining the live-action Dora the Explorer movie as the voice of the film's antagonist Swiper. And Disney Pixar's upcoming film Onward has announced Chris Pratt, Tom Holland, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Octavia Spencer have all signed on to voice currently unknown characters. And in other news, the National Film Registry, which turns 30 this year, has chosen Stanley Kubrick's The Shining and Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park as inductees to be preserved for their cultural, historic, and aesthetic importance. And that is the news. All right, what did we get here?
3 minutes, 1 second.
Nice. I was doing really good there until the waterworks started coming out of your face.
Achoo.
Yeah, that is the news, guys. You know what'd be nice? What did you like in there? You were listening along. What stood out to you from the phone booth?
Probably Punisher Season 2.
Yeah, that's one that's high on my list. Except for they have canceled Daredevil. They canceled Luke Cage, Iron Fist. So more than likely, we're probably gonna be losing the Punisher too, which really sucks. Did you see the first season? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's good. Mm-hmm. It's good. One of my favorite of all the Marvel Netflix shows for sure.
Wait, is Jessica Jones canceled?
No, not yet. They've got another season coming up, but it's probably gonna get canceled too. I think it's gonna be
like
slate wide. Yeah, the whole cast of Marvel Netflix shows is probably gonna go away. That's a bummer. Myself, I think I'm pretty excited for the upcoming Spider-Man event, the Hunted event. I always enjoy Kraven the Hunter dealing with this, and the advertisement actually had like all of Spider-Man's villains' heads mounted on his wall, on Kraven's wall, with Spider-Man's head in the middle. Looked pretty interesting, pretty fun. I mean, I don't think all of the characters are actually gonna get decapitated and mounted on a wall, but
Try.
I mean, he could try. Yeah, he'll try, and maybe we actually might see a death or two, but yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. Moving on from there, though, guys, it is time for a more somber segment of our show known as Fallen Heroes. Every now and then, a legend is brought into this world, but before they can become that legend, they have to pass through this mortal coil and become fallen heroes. And once again, we are covering somewhat of an update on someone's passing, this time focusing on a tribute paid to Carrie Fisher, who played Peter Griffin's no-nonsense supervisor Angela in more than 20 episodes of Family Guy, including 2 after her death in December 2016. And this tribute sees a eulogy given by Peter, beginning with a joke about the Webster's definition of the word class, going on to explain that it's a group of students, and some nonsensical TV theme song references. But it also goes on to state, quote, that Angela was fearless, spontaneous, honest about herself just as much as she was about the world around her. She had grace, courage, and an unmatched zest for life. She may be gone, but her voice will live on in DVD and Hulu Plus and tiny droid projected messages. I may have lost a boss, but heaven has gained a princess. But naturally, it turns out Peter is at the wrong funeral, which actually made me laugh. Setting aside jokes, though, it was actually a nice tribute, and I'm glad Seth MacFarlane took the time to add this to the episode, which he could have easily skipped over. And it was a very nice, fitting tribute for Carrie Fisher. So thank you very much, Seth MacFarlane, for that. And I think that's going to lead us into our next segment, which is going to be our review for the big CW Elseworlds crossover and into the Spider-verse, the new Spider-Man movie. And joining me for that is going to be Mr. Bob Collins, Bobb-A Fett, returning to the podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Let's get ready to review.
How are you, Mr. Herman?
I'm doing all right. Podcast is sounding better as we've been discussing.
It is.
Not like you listen to it.
I do from time to time.
From time to time.
Yeah.
But yeah, things are going good. What about you? You've been.
There's a lot of things that's been happening.
What are the better things, though? You've been spending some time in the city.
I have.
Yeah.
I'm a big old city boy now.
Yeah, that's never a bad thing.
No, especially getting out of this area, very good thing.
Talk a little bit about that bar you called me from.
It's called Old North Arcade. The more well-known one in Columbus is 16-Bit, and I have yet to be there, but from what I've heard from people who matter, this Old North is definitely the better of the two. It's less crowded. They actually have a ton of consoles hooked up as well. Everything
I saw that.
From like NES, SNES, they have GameCube, original Xbox, like all the PlayStations, including PS4, N64, like literally just about every fucking console they're out there. Then they have a shit ton of cabinets. And then they have these specialty drinks that are named after either like video game like characters or titles. And then they have some that are just basic nerdy theme. Like they have like Hagrid's Butterbeer that comes with this big ass cookie. One of the ones I had I had Danky Kang, and it had like banana rum, I think, in it. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Secret of the Booze.
Yeah, that's the one you told me about. It came with
like gushers in it and shit, dude. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, that sounded awesome.
It's very laid back, very fun. I suggest anybody that's in that area to go check it out.
And anybody listening to this, that's got to be up their alley.
If you like drinking alcohol and you like nerdy shit, yeah, do it.
Now, I have been to the 16-bit barn arcade, and where yours looked like a little bit more of like a dive bar version of that. This was very new age and like sleek and modern looking, and
I'm more for...
And they're both. Yours looked great, and the one I went to, 16-bit, it was great and a lot of fun. It's just really, it depends on the atmosphere you're looking for.
The atmosphere I enjoy when I go to bars are stuff like dive bars, little holes in the wall.
I will say this: I felt a little outpaced by the place.
Yeah. I think you
I
would
didn't
definitely
fit in there.
I think you would definitely enjoy Old North more.
Yeah.
Another fun thing I did recently was I went to a special screening of A Christmas Story, and there was also beer tasting, and there was 10 different beers, and each one had more alcohol in it than the last. So in between tasting each beer, they played like funny stuff. They played like the drunk history.
Oh, I love those.
What was it was 'Twas Night Before Christmas one that has Ryan Gosling and Jim Carrey in it, dude. Like, it was great. In between, they were playing these like what they called just funny stuff, and they were also having drawings. They had one of the actors from A Christmas Story that played the younger bully. He was also in Van Halen's Hot for Teacher video. He played in Better Off Dead.
Because I know the bully's name, Scott Farkas. Like, how can you forget? But God, what, Melvin?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
But he was there, and they were doing they were giving away all kinds of shit, dude. Like, of course, I won nothing, but we got in free. So like that, like, it was already sold out, and we still got in without any kind of, like, didn't have to pay for shit.
So you got on your knees then?
Yeah. But it was worth it. Like, we got a free like pint glass. Like, it was just a ton of fucking fun, and I was hammered drunk by the time the movie started. We didn't even watch the whole movie. We got about like midway through, and it's like, you want to go out to the bar, like, have a few more drinks, and then go home.
Christmas Story doesn't seem like the movie you can really drink to.
But they're having what they call Dudathon, which is pretty much the same thing, but playing The Big Lebowski.
And that's absolutely one. And they better be serving White Russians.
Yes. It's apparently already sold out, but they said that, like, we still have a spot if we want to go. So,
yeah, that'd be cool.
That was tons of fun.
Those all are way better than the things I've been doing, which mostly just try to keep up with TV shows, like the one we're going to talk about now, which was the big CW crossover this year, Elseworlds. And let's go ahead and we'll start out spoiler free, just like our overall thoughts and how fun it was. Did the pacing work?
This was, honestly, to me, probably out of all the crossovers that we've had so far in the previous seasons, this is the best one.
Oh, absolutely.
For multiple reasons. Like, I felt like the story was more solid than some of the last ones. It was a little odd not having Legends of Tomorrow in it, but I felt like 3 episodes was plenty for this.
And later on that week during the episode of Legends of Tomorrow, there's I think it's Gideon or something. It was like voicemail from Oliver Queen, Barry Allen, Cara Zor-El. He's like, oh God, probably another annual crossover. Ignore. And that was it. So that was their whole play in it. So at least they included him a little bit there. Yeah, that was fun. But I think it helped the pacing a bit because
so I said the 3 episode felt good. It was almost kind of like what Marvel was doing with their Netflix shows, and they wound up cutting the episodes down.
Yeah,
it felt the same way for me. It was like, sometimes less is more for
with this being
like
Elseworlds, though. Like I think like if they really put their minds to it, they could have made 5 episodes.
Oh
worth.
God,
like there's so much.
There could be a whole new series of just alternate universes.
Yeah.
They could do like one full season of this one universe, and then the next season's a different one, or they could do like every episode or every few episodes in these different Earths.
Right. Like last year's Crisis on Earth X, that seemed to drag a little bit.
There was definitely
fun.
Some point. Oh yeah. Up until this Elseworlds one, that was my favorite one so far.
Yeah, and that just goes to say they get better and better.
Yeah, they're progressively.
Because think of where we started. We started with the Flash and Supergirl crossing over,
and when that happened, we were like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
this is the best thing ever.
That was before Supergirl was on the CW too, so that was even bigger. But yeah, no, it really was the best one yet, and that's not like because we're still seeing it through rose-colored glasses. This could have been a movie.
One thing that I really am enjoying is that they're getting more loose with like taking risks on like name dropping shit.
They're pushing the envelope now.
They are.
I like it.
Because I mean, before, like, they mentioned Suicide Squad a few times on Arrow, and then they're like, oh wait, no, we're making the movie. You guys gotta stop all that shit. Let's kill off fucking Deadshot.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Like they weren't allowed playing with certain characters that are integral in a lot of these like tellings of certain things. Like the whole season with Ra's al Ghul with Arrow. It's like that should be Batman. Like, that should be Batman.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason Oliver Queen is shirtless, sword fighting Ra's al Ghul.
And you got to think about the progression of these shows. Like, they first of all, they didn't know the larger idea, like what it would become, what it is now. Things like Elseworlds being possible. Yeah. None of that was on the table. It was really just they wanted to make a Batman show, and instead,
and this was
they
like
got
fresh off the heels of Nolan's Batverse. That's why, especially that first season of Arrow was so dark. And like they didn't refer to him as Green Arrow.
Oh, it's
hell,
still
they
dark.
barely even said Arrow. It was always the Hood. But you could see it progressively starting to get a little better.
I know. I think this whole Ricardo Diaz arc has really brought it back down. It made it a more gritty again. But you can see that the characters can still have fun and be fun in settings like Elseworlds. Which brings me to my next question. Yes. What did you think about the character interactions in this one? We got a lot of different team ups in this one. We won't go into too many details on that until spoilers, but how much fun did you have with that?
I had a ton of fun with that, especially with some newer characters or some new characters, like ones that are just being introduced. Like it made my feel goods feel good.
I like that Caitlin Snow is now like full on in harmony with her Killer Frost side.
And see, like I'm actually like I try to stay current with Flash because Flash is my favorite CW show. I am behind on this most current season.
Okay.
So that's one thing. That was one of my questions to you before. Was like, do I need to catch up before I watch this Elseworlds? And I mean, there's a few small details that I'm like, okay, I'm not really sure who this person is or what's going on here, but for the most part, no, you don't really need to be caught up.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and toot my own horn on that one because I said it on this podcast. I called it. You don't have to be caught up. Like, I mean, there are things like if you're like 3 seasons behind on the Flash, you won't know why Caitlin Snow is now Killer Frost, I guess. But even if you are pretty caught up, like you're a little behind. Like, she got her powers shut off at the end of the last season, I think. So, you would have been a little in the dark on that, but it's like, easy enough to fill in that blank.
Oh, yeah. And it's like Supergirl. I've only watched, like, the first 2 episodes ever. It's a show that I definitely want to go back and watch. Like, I've been wanting to. It's just, I mean, there's a million other things for us to watch. So there's a character that popped up during her episode of this crossover. That I just by seeing appearance wise, I'm like, oh, that's a certain version of this character. I know who you're talking about. But I had no idea that character was in there.
That's not like I know you motioned like to try and keep it like spoiler free. Everyone knows about the character. Okay. But that is Brainiac 5 from the future.
Well, that's why I assumed Legion. It was a Brainiac of some sort.
He's one of the Legion of superheroes characters who stuck around after the last season.
I thought the Legion of Superheroes Brainiac was a female. Like, is it a female in the comics? No, in the comics.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
I want to say it is.
But yeah, Saturn Girl and Mon-El and all of them, they were running around for a while. And he decided to stick around. But yeah. Easy enough. Like you pretty much knew who it was when you saw him. There's Brainiac.
And then like in Flash, the French Harrison Wells.
Well, you've seen Harrison Wells switch hands enough to know that something happened to the other Wells.
I don't know if I can do a whole season with a French Harrison Wells.
It's been working out, and
because it felt a little cringeworthy at times.
It's been downplayed more. There's a much bigger thing happening in that season that I won't spoil for you, but luckily enough, they didn't spoil in this. Like, she plays no part in it, but there's a much bigger thing that's happening there.
Is it something that was kind of like dropped on us at the very last second of the previous season?
Yes. I did forget that was the cliffhanger.
And it's actually in the opening of this newest season.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they mention her as well.
Nora Allen, Nora West Allen, excess for those deep cuts people. Anyways, so I think we've said about as much as we can spoiler free.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to do a spoiler free.
Oh, I know. Every time you're just trying so hard. Yeah. And I can see it on your face too. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and give you your spoiler warning now. We're gonna be talking about all the nitty gritty things, all the little stuff that stood out to us, references, cameos.
We're gonna want to reveal whose penis was shown on air.
If you haven't seen it yet, though, and you don't want to know any of these things before, there are time codes in the bottom, and you can check out these episodes on the CW app. They're all 3 up there. It's the first thing advertised when you open up the app, so get on it.
And it's totally fucking worth it.
Oh, it's so totally worth it. I couldn't sit for another day on that 3rd episode. I watched it straight through after the 2nd one.
Yeah.
Totally blew off my sleep schedule.
Before we go into spoilers, which episode do you think was the strongest, or which one got you the most excited?
Part 2.
Part
2 was the best.
Yes.
There's a part in part 1 that just blew me away.
We'll talk about that.
It's my favorite.
Let's talk about that first.
Yeah, but part 2 was the best.
I agree.
All right, so we're in spoilers now. We're gonna go ahead and talk about our favorite part. I think unanimously among all the podcasters who watched it in our group.
And I think especially more for me and you, because you and I have watched the show.
I've watched the show 3 times all the way through. But they are... let's set up the thing here. They were trying to... this is after Barry and Oliver, who are switched.
They Freaky Friday'd almost.
They Freaky Friday'd. Have finally decided to go to Earth 38. Is that Kara's?
I think so.
Or is it Earth 2?
No, it's not Earth 2.
Okay.
It's like an
Earth
Earth
38,
double digit of some sort.
So they decide to go to Earth 38, and the transition is an overhead sweeping shot of Kansas farmlands with a certain Remy Zero song playing over top.
Dude.
Oh my god.
I got so fucking excited because
were you waiting for the meteors to start coming down?
Dude, I was just waiting for fucking all the original cast. Because I didn't know that they were just using the song to lead into them. I was like, hold on, we're at an alternate Earth, and I don't remember Earth numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't know that this is the Supergirl Earth. I was like, hold on, oh my god, it's the Smallville universe in this multiverse, because holy fuck.
But I was thinking they would take it a little step further, is fucking, well, not Chloe, because
no because sex slaves and all.
Yeah, we've covered that pretty in-depthly. Anyways, no, but where's Annetta O'Toole? Is John Snyder gonna show up at any point? How far are they gonna take this?
I know they're not gonna have Aquaman because he's in a completely different show.
But I did love that they shot this on the Smallville Kent family farm.
Yeah.
Wow, it was just so good. I can't tell you a single word that was said between the characters because I was so obsessed with staring at the farm.
Oh, yeah. I know that there was some talk that they were somewhere, pretty much whatever the remnants is of Krypton.
Yeah. That's another thing I love, because something that gets brought up with Supergirl all the time is where's Superman? Why can't he help with this? And every now and again they might give you a reason, but most of the time they just overlook it.
Yeah.
Turns out he's been on Argo this whole time, and it leads out perfectly because by part 3 they've decided they're gonna go to Argo because Lois Lane is pregnant. And that's where they're going to have the baby because the powers are
And you
dampened.
don't even find out that she's pregnant until the last episode.
Yeah.
Or no, was it last? Yeah. Last episode. It was.
Yeah. It wasn't part 1.
No.
Yeah. Oh my God. How beautiful was the proposal scene?
It was cute as fuck.
I love it was Superman 3, right? Where he crushes the piece of coal into a diamond to propose to Lois.
You would be the one that would know this.
I think it's Superman 3,
Okay.
but I love that little reference because they're barbecuing in the Fortress of Solitude. That's amazing. And yeah, he grabs one of the hot coals. I just love that little nod to his power.
See, even before that first scene where the theme song plays and they first introduce us back to Superman in that first episode, before that even plays all the way out, I pause it and message you and I'm like, wait a minute, is this Superman supposed to be the Smallville Superman? And like it's just a different actor? Like, see, what's going on?
I think it's alternate in my mind. Although I think it's very like whatever his backstory is, however his early life played out in this universe, on this Earth, I think it's very closely related to the Smallville version of events because although Chloe Sullivan has been introduced in the comics since, before Smallville there was no Chloe Sullivan, in a past episode of Supergirl, and they reference Chloe.
And before Smallville there was no Leonard Luthor? Is it the father?
Lionel.
Yes. Richie. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
No, there wasn't. I remember reading or listening, watching something that.
And we have yet to hear anything about a Lionel Luthor yet, but. I think it's very closely related. I mean, the farm is the same, and he's got a friend named Chloe. So
I really hope that that in the next crossover that they've already gave us the title for, since we will be probably looking at a lot more alternate universes, that they're like, hey, Michael Rosenbaum, I know you want to do it.
Yeah. Well, and especially because of what the next crossover is, which we'll talk about.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, at the very end. We'll save that for the last thing we're going to talk about. That would be amazing.
Okay, what else?
Well, okay, I mean, let's talk about Gotham.
Oh God!
I mean, how? Like,
oh God!
You're
first
sitting
off,
there searching for something.
No, I was trying to find something more in the first episode, like stuff that led into this, like the Monitor. Monitor was a cool.
Yeah, he was pretty badass. Yeah. Hold on. Can you hand me that yellow pad on the desk over there?
Thank you, Lev.
This was all of my notes for Elseworlds, so I don't know why I didn't grab this. Yeah, Monitor was pretty cool, and I liked the guy playing him a lot. Like, he really commanded power while seeming to not give a shit about anything. Yeah. Like, it was...
And they obviously, like, augmented his voice a little bit.
Of course.
But just by, like, what I feel like his voice would be, they probably didn't even need to.
Right. Another thing that showed up in part 1, not Metallo, Amazo.
Oh, Amazo. God damn it, how did I forget that? Robot? Yes, dude.
And their team up to take him down was just, God, it was so palpably comic book. It was awesome. Yeah. I loved that. Yeah, I never thought I'd see Amazo on the show.
No. And whenever they first showed him, before you knew who he was, when he, after Oliver Berry threw the fucking lightning punch and it ricocheted off everything and then hit him.
Yeah.
And then they bounced out of the room and they see him emerged out of that box, out of that crate. I was like, wait a minute, is this Metallo?
Yeah.
But I like I said, I don't watch Supergirl. I want to say, didn't they already have Metallo?
I don't think they've done Metallo. They did him on Smallville.
That
might be what you're thinking of. Yeah. Another cool thing that happened, something I love. I can't believe we skipped over this after we talked about the Freaky Friday thing, but it was so much fun watching them try to figure out each other's powers because now Oliver Queen is Barry Allen with the Speed Force and Barry Allen is Oliver Queen with all the
training and the experience, like when he had to dislocate his thumb.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was so funny.
In this universe or in this timeline, you have conditioned yourself where you're able to do this without seriously hurting yourself. And then after it happened, and he never relocated it, he's like, oh my God, your thumb. It looks so funny.
And that gave him the ability to think. Oh, the remote arrow payback. On the Smallville farm. That was funny.
I forgot all about that until it happened. I'm like, oh shit, that's a nice little callback.
Yeah. They embraced each other's roles really well because, and it's during the Amazo fight when Barry Allen says,
You have failed
this
this
city.
city. Yeah.
It was so good. Like, he really jumped right into that. And when Stephen Amell was allowed to let loose, like, you could tell how much fun he was having because he's a funny guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you
in
follow
real
his
life.
Instagram.
Yeah. But he did look really funny in that suit. Like, his head looked too big.
It was so weird on him.
It really was. Like, Grant Gustin looked good in the Arrow suit.
Oh, yeah, but I think that outfit could work for him,
I mean...
really. But, yeah.
And the fact that, like, Oliver Berry, Grant Gustin as Oliver, was doing the salmon ladder.
Yes.
Like, with ease, you know?
and he's just eating that shit
Oh,
up,
yeah.
man, that too. But I think that's everything to talk about.
And in the first episode where, like, Barry, who's now Oliver, was like really cool about the idea. He's like, oh no, whatever, it's fine. Until Oliver says something along the lines of like, oh, I woke up in your bed this morning. He's like, wait a minute, you woke up next to Iris? Yeah. All right, we need to get this shit changed like right now.
Yeah, so good. Man, fuck, I love these things.
Yes.
All right, so
episode fucking 2.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's literally the last bit of the first part, like where you see Batwoman up on the top, like
because
it's a very far away shot.
They decide to go to Gotham
at the end of part one.
Yeah. Now, did they unveil the bat signal at the end of part one?
No,
or was that during
was
part
that
two?
was once they got to Gotham and they're on the rooftop. And I think it was Supergirl that walks up and pulls it off there, and it has like the Arkham logo bat symbol on there.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Oh my god, I was so...
Let's talk about Oliver Queen and Batman for a minute, because before they go in part one, there's a discussion about Batman, and Oliver Queen cannot accept that he's real. He's like, no, he's just a myth, and like they start prodding him, and he's like, I was the first vigilante.
Like, he got real butthurt.
Yeah, he was real mad about that. But this is the first time they've ever flat out said Batman.
Yeah, there's been like Wayne Enterprises, like references here and there, like in Flash.
Yeah.
And then in, I think it was the last season of Arrow, Oliver Queen does mention something about Bruce Wayne. And that wasn't even in the script. Like, that was Stephen Amell, like, hey, this is just like a random throwaway name. Like, can I say Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, he made a little deal with the studio or something. But this one, they're flat out looking for Batman. They're going to Gotham.
And why can't they, dude?
Yeah.
Fuck, they got Superman on Supergirl, and it works fine. And no one's like, wait a minute, that's not Henry Cavill.
And I can't remember who it was in the article that I was reading, but we did post an article to Sort of My Comics on Facebook. And basically the gist of it is that they've been getting away with more and more each season and stuff. And this is the first time they've really let them run with it a bit. But when the subject got brought up about Batman again, they shut it down immediately. Again, they said, no, not going to happen. Yeah. But it's just so confusing. Why,
it is.
Why is Batman allowed to be in the first episode of that shitty Birds of Prey show? but they can't use him in this highly successful, profitable universe.
And you can see it's working with Superman. Like I said, like Superman has been in multiple episodes of Supergirl, and like no one's confused. I'm like, fuck, there's 2 Flashes now. You know what I mean? There's this very successful TV Flash.
Hell, there's 3 now. Yeah, because of this.
Yeah, technically. But what I mean is, like, there's a TV universe Flash that you see every week. Yeah, and then we have what's his fuck in the Justice League.
You mean simultaneously playing? Yeah. What is his name? Ezra Miller.
Yeah. And I've grown to like Ezra Miller. But yeah, they have multiple Flashes. Why? And they have multiple Supermen now. Yeah. They have multiple quite a few characters.
They actually lost Henry Cavill, but
but like technically speaking,
it's I get where you're coming at, and it's not like, well, I mean, we're asking for a weekly Batman show, but it's not like the creators of the show are saying like we need a weekly Batman show. They're just like, let us use him once.
Yeah, like
let's drop him in.
Oh, Titans.
Yeah,
Titans. Have you? I mean, you've seen the trailer for the last episode, right?
I actually haven't even watched the trailer.
They're bringing Batman in, like full blown Batman.
I'm aware
into this episode.
I just don't want to see it until I watch the episode.
Oh, like why can't we have it? I want it.
Nah.
Get well, you'll love me.
I don't know why they just can't take the CW
and how are we
seriously.
going to have a Batwoman show if they can't show Batman at least once or twice?
And they've explained that in this episode.
Yeah, but like, I mean, there's got to be like some like callbacks to shit that's happened in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't always do what Titans did, which just show like some shadowy male figure in the background that you don't ever see what he looks like.
But referencing their explanation for the absence of Batman, apparently 3 years ago to their continuity, which I guess they're in 2018. So in 2015, both Batman and Bruce Wayne disappeared. And so we have no idea where he went.
But yeah, and why is it in every medium Batman's got to disappear for fucking, like, Nolan movies, he's gone for 8 years. And
That in the Nolan movies though, wasn't it between The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises? Was that the 8 years absent you're talking about? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot that they did that. At first I thought you were talking about the 7 years he went for training, and I was that's part of the story.
Yeah, of course. No, he just like, oh, my girlfriend died, I'm going to take like 8 years off. Yeah. No.
My knee's real bum. Magic knee brace, whatever.
Oh yeah, like, and that's what I've heard a lot of people defend with. It was like, oh man, his knee was busted. Like, but it took him 2 seconds to throw a magical fucking knee brace on where he could literally kick through brick walls.
Yeah, which I doubt he could have done before that knee brace.
Yeah.
Before the knee injury, I guess.
Yeah.
But we did get a lot of Batman's world here, and I want to kind of reference. I wrote down in my notes here a bunch of stuff that we saw pop up.
You know what's popping up right now? My chubby.
Oh yeah, because we've got a lot of names. Because they go to Arkham Asylum. This bad boy, and they show off a lot of the names on the cellmates doors.
Real quick. One thing that I was a little disappointed about, you know, when they first got to Gotham and all the cops pull up, I was like, we're going to see Gordon. Or at least fucking
I didn't even think about it. I was so swept away with everything that I didn't even think about it. But you're right. That was an opportunity.
I mean,
where was Gordon?
Yeah.
But we did get to see the cell doors for Oswald Cobblepot, Pamela Isley, Basil Carlo, Edward Nygma, and Mark Guggenheim,
Who's Guggenheim?
I did a little research on this.
Yeah?
He is the creator of Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow and the writer of Green Lantern.
Yeah,
well, that's a nice little nod.
it's a nice nod.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, that's fun for them, I guess.
Yeah.
We also got to see a little bit of the storage room in Arkham Asylum, and there was a bunch of
we
really
saw
cool
Bane's
shit.
mask from Dark Knight Rises.
We saw some joy buzzers.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
There was something else I saw.
Hugo Strange's glasses, Freeze's cold gun,
the
Crane's fear toxin, which comes into play.
The fear toxin was cool.
Man, that fear toxin, I wrote this out. That fear toxin leads to a fight where Oliver Flash versus Barry Green Arrow, which is also Oliver Barry Flash versus Eobard Thawne Reverse Flash, and Barry Oliver Green Arrow versus Malcolm Merlin, and Batwoman wins.
Oh, fuck it. Like, since you just brought up Batwoman, how fucking great was Ruby Rose?
Oh my god, she was perfect.
Dude.
Fantastic.
First off, Ruby Rose is perfect anyway.
I've never seen her in anything else that I'm aware of. I still haven't watched.
I caught some bits of Orange Is the New Black.
Yeah, I still
that she was
haven't watched that yet. It's on the list.
I've
Laura
watched
Prepon for days.
John Wick 2. She was in. I didn't watch the new XXX, and I really don't think most of human population did.
I absolutely
But she's
will
in
not.
that. And I think one of the most recent Expendables movie, maybe. I don't know.
Was she in 3? I saw that.
Yes. I don't know. I don't even.
Okay.
I don't even know. But her going down to the Batcave and walking up to her Batwoman suit, and just like that, like stern.
I mean, her
serious look on
attitude
her
as
face.
Cat Kane alone
Kate,
was
but yeah,
Kate
whatever,
Kane. I'm
whatever.
sorry,
Kathy.
I was reading Cat Kane. Whatever.
Okay.
I like Cat better.
Would it be Bat Kane?
Nice.
Bob Kane.
Bat Kane, nice. No, but her attitude before she puts on the suit.
Oh, yeah.
Is great.
Oh, what I'm not even talking about while she's in suit, because when she's in suit, perfect. I'm talking about when she goes down that elevator and she's like walking through the Batcave. Like the whole time she has this like, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass look on her face. Like,
yeah,
completely like serious, like focused, stern. Like,
and then
it was
when
dope.
she's in that suit, I like. Honestly, all the powerful characters we've seen. We've got Supergirl running around, and for whatever reason, just the way she carries herself and carries that Batwoman persona,
She has a very...
I feel like she could kick any of their asses.
When she came down on that van, like collapsed it in, grappling hooked that motherfucker, pulled him back, like batarang some motherfuckers, dude. Like, oh my, that's what I want.
I unnecessarily wanted her to start kicking the Flash and Green Arrow's asses just
for no reason.
Just I want it.
Like, you know what? I told you to fucking leave my city.
Yeah. What about Kate Kane?
Yeah.
Kate Kane and Kara's interaction in the office. How funny was that when she starts hitting on her and she gets all nervous and shit?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
But then their interaction right before they leave Arkham, like face to face, talking about how they'd be a good team up.
Yeah.
And she was like, world's finest. Dude,
God. And then they shake hands and I'm like, it's comic books.
Yes. Also, there was something else that I was going to mention that I can't remember.
Ooh, I think you're thinking of the John Wesley Shipp Flash appearance towards the end of the episode.
Yes.
If you're not familiar with who we're talking about.
Earth 90?
Yeah.
Like the 90s?
If you're not familiar with who we're talking about, not only has he played Jake Garrick on The Flash, but he was the first TV Flash in his own series in the 90s.
And he plays Barry's dad in The Flash,
yes,
plus
he does,
Jake Garrick. And, I mean,
oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, because they go through the thing. Jay? No. Dad?
No.
And here's the big thing that I think you're forgetting about. John, where's your ring?
Oh, dude.
Yes.
I was waiting to get there. But yeah, whenever he looks at Diggle and he's like, John, where's your ring? I'm like, Diggle is John Stewart Green Lantern in Earth 90?
Yes.
I fucking want that, bro. And have you seen the fan art since then?
No,
Somebody
I
took
haven't.
it was like the Ryan Reynolds like body from Green Lantern, Diggle's head, and they threw a mask on him, dude. But like, yes.
Yeah,
I want it
so bad. I want to see John Diggle, aka John Stewart, Green Lantern, so bad. Yeah, but that's really all there was to talk about in that episode. Yeah,
for the most part.
So let's move on.
Oh, real quick, one thing I did want to say about when they started showing like the Wayne Enterprises
You're like a Marvel
logo.
movie with these parts. Like we're about to end, and then you're like, but
here's
wait,
a post-credit
there's more.
scene. No, that's what I was trying to remember a little bit ago. For the most part, whenever you see the logo for Wayne Enterprises in any kind of medium, it's the same logo.
Right.
Did you notice that this one looked legitimately like a fucking bat? Like the W looked like a bat. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Go back and look at it, dude. I'm telling you. It's pretty cool. It's pretty exciting.
You're not being very subtle there, Bruce. Like,
yeah. Well, it's like fucking. What is it? The Argo logo looks like a fucking arrow, or is it Argus?
Yeah.
It looks like an arrow because it looks like an A, but it's sideways, legitly like an arrowhead.
We see what you did there, Berlanti.
Yes, you're clever.
Moving on to part 3, though, there was this big advertisement where they showed Black Suit Superman.
Oh yeah.
Turns out, and the guy we haven't mentioned once.
Oh yeah, no. It's like really like. Do you? I mean, I know that he's
I think
really
we kind of need to
because like whole, I mean, it wasn't. I kind of forgot about him until they kept mentioning that they need to stop him.
Well, the whole crux of this is not necessarily them going to interesting worlds where what if Superman landed in Gotham and became
these
Batman.
are realities being changed.
Yeah,
at
and
the
that
will
is
of a certain person with a sweet Mississippi top hat.
Oh, you know it, boy. John Deegan, who gets the book of book of reality. The Book of Destiny from the Monitor.
Yeah, because every time I talk about it, I say the book of Destiny Child. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, he is the black suit Superman because he's tried this once before. The Monitor ends up giving him back the book after he loses it to Barry and Kara and Oliver.
Yeah.
And he tells him to think bigger. And, like, what's bigger than Superman? So he becomes Superman and pretty much changes the world to kind of be under his thumb. Like, Superman totalitarianism.
Yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of, like the Injustice universe, or even, like...
Superman Doomsday, when the new Superman shows up after the death of Superman. That's a good example, I think. No, you know what? You're right. More of like Injustice
like,
Superman.
Because everybody that was at Star Labs that's now like has a big Superman logo, they all have like. By the way, I want one of those coats that they're all wearing with the Superman logo on it. Those were dope.
Yeah, the little the flak jacket with the Superman symbol. I dug those. But in this, we got a sweet ass Superman versus Superman fight, because of course they go to the fortress to get Superman to fight Superman, because what else are they gonna do?
Fight fire with fire.
And this just fuels it for me, man. I want a Superman show so bad.
Oh yeah. Why can't we have a show just called World's Finest?
Why can't a Batman Superman team up show?
Yeah.
You can call it Batman, Superman. You could call it World's Finest. You could call it Humpty Dumpty and the Five Dicks. I don't care. But
I think Humpty Dumpty and the Five Dicks is probably on the top of the list.
That's what they should call it right there.
Come on, Greg Berlanti. I know you're listening.
You know what we want.
You know what we want. Humpty Dumpty and Five Dicks.
If our lives move into porn, that's gonna be the one right there. But yeah. We absolutely need that show. More than a Superman show, more than a Batman show. We need a team-up show.
Yes.
We already mentioned the proposal in this. I mean...
We talk about team-up show. I don't know why this just hit me. How great would it be? I know we're never going to get it, but since they've already kind of planted the seed of John Diggle being John Stewart, can we get an Oliver Queen and John Stewart? I know it's not Hal Jordan, but can we get a Green Lantern, Green Arrow, like... fucking hard traveling heroes?
That would be so good. Oh my god, what if it was just like, because, and we're gonna get to this, that after the next one, like they bring it back down, because this next crossover is gonna be about as big as they can go.
Like, I honestly don't know where they could go after this. After this next one,
they bring it back down to earth a little bit. Maybe we introduce John Stewart,
and maybe after this next crossover, like certain things happen that realities are kind of broken and rearranged, and it's set for at least a while. So maybe Diggle does become Stewart.
That would be great.
From here on out. Like, I think it would be fucking amazing.
Because what is John Diggle anymore?
John Diggle was legitimately made for Arrow. He was not a character prior to the show.
Yeah.
His last name is actually Diggle is a writer, was a previous writer of Green Arrow.
Andrew Diggle, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But I've dug Diggle up to a point. But after he stopped
Did you dig Diggle?
I dug Diggle. I dug Diggle. But now he's no longer a Spartan. He's just kind of trucking around with his wife, working for for Argus. Yeah. I don't care about him anymore. Like, let's just fold reality in on itself and make him the Green Lantern. I'm into that. And then, yes, hard traveling heroes. But let's go ahead and talk about the finale, their post-credits teaser.
Well, before that, whenever they were breaking people out of Arkham, you seen a guy with this gold mask. Yes. And it has been confirmed it's the person who I thought it was.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after, what's the guy's name? The one that had the Book of Destiny? Mullet
John
Man.
Deegan.
John Deegan.
Yeah.
Well, Deegan is now in Arkham, no longer as a doctor, but as an inmate. And I can't remember who was saying it, but they said that like he got a new friend. And you see this guy turn around to the cell next to him and throw the gold mask on. That's fucking Psycho Pirate, dude. And Psycho Pirate has played a part in every single crisis in the comics.
Right. Which is only fitting that he would lead us into next year's annual crossover, which is
Crisis on
Infinite Earths. I almost said Heroes in Crisis, which is a
Final Crisis, Infinite Crisis, one of the crises. Convergence,
yes.
Reborn. Well, I don't know.
But wow. How fucking nuts is that going to be?
Dude, that would be a perfect time, like we said earlier in this episode, for them to bring the Smallville universe in as its own universe.
Bring some Smallville characters in.
You can give me goddamn Birds of Prey universe. I don't give a fuck.
6 fucking Supermans saying it's not. Get fucking not Joe Rogan.
What's his name? You mean talking about from like The Adventures of Lois and Clark?
Yeah.
What the fuck is his name? Why do I have brain fart on him every time? I don't know. That guy.
We get him. We get Tom Welling in some tights.
Dude, can we get Brandon Routh?
We get Brandon
as
Routh.
Superman, and then make him interact with the Atom?
Yes.
Like, come on, we can do that.
Fuck. I mean, Henry Cavill's done. Bring him in.
Fuck it.
Like,
Mustache and all. I don't care.
So much Superman in this. That is the time to bring in Batman. If they don't say yes to Batman in that, I swear to God, I will burn down Warner Brothers.
I'll go to Vancouver right now and burn down all these motherfucking sets. Which, by the way, Gotham is not the Gotham in Batwoman is not filmed in Vancouver.
Really?
Vancouver. Yeah. Chicago.
And we should mention, I don't think we mentioned, because there is some world hopping in here.
Yeah.
Gotham is a part of the Arrowverse, like the main.
It's
like,
not
Earth
it's
1.
not a separate Earth or anything like Supergirl's.
It's on Earth 1.
Yeah,
which is cool. But yeah, there's just so many possibilities with this. Oh my God! So, what are some characters you would love to see pop up? Some like new characters,
like that hasn't been introduced yet, or like not a certain version of them been introduced. Let's see here. I want a Wonder Woman. Why the fuck can't we get a Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I mean, we've had Themyscira in season 2. I believe it was season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow. They take Cleopatra, or not Cleopatra, but
I don't know. I was baked a lot when I was watching Legends of Tomorrow.
I know who this is too. But anyways, they take him.
You remember whenever was it Flash season 2 that he went to Earth 2, or was it season 2 or 3? Whenever they did the whole like quick little Flashpoint storyline, when he went to Earth 2, remember his phone? He had a phone with different names on it.
Yeah,
and it said like Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, Diana. Or no, it said Bruce, Clark, Diana, Hal. Yeah. I was like, so I mean, you got little references here and there,
right? Acknowledgments enough. So yeah, include them.
What do I want? I want a legit Black Canary for Oliver.
Diana, not Diana. Fuck, Dinah Lance.
Yeah. Like I want that, because that's one thing I've always liked in the comics is the Green Arrow Black Canary relationship. Yeah. And they dabbled in it a little bit. Like, dude, honestly, like I know she has tons of fans. I can't fucking stand Felicity.
You don't like Felicity?
No, I don't.
I like her less and less as the seasons go, but
it's kind of like how originally I was like, oh my God, I love Iris. And after a while, it's like, can Iris just die? Like, I like her, but like, fuck, do we really have to deal with this, like, this fucking side story of like, let's pick out wedding colors and shit. Why don't you help me out? Because I'm saving the fucking world, okay?
Yeah,
like, God damn it.
I kind of hated that
episode. Like, I don't know, dude. Yeah. Like, sometimes I really like it. Most of the times I don't. So, no, fuck Felicity. Sorry.
So you don't want to see Felicity in
yeah, no. If she could just stay away the whole time, that's completely fine.
I don't know. I would love to see just some hint of the Green Lantern.
You know what I'd love to see? Yeah, Green Lantern, definitely. Booster Gold. Give me some fucking Booster Gold.
God, yes, some Booster Gold.
Give me some Gold and Blue, bro. Bring in some Blue Beetle. And some
Booster Gold. Well, they won't do Blue Beetle because now they're planning on making a movie. Yeah. But Booster Gold, have him be the guy who, like, he comes back to warn them about it, becomes a little too early or something. He sticks around for a season, and
that would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be really great. Also, I would love to see Supergirl's Earth melded into the actual continuity.
Yeah. I think that they probably will. I mean, with an event like Crisis on Infinite Earths, like that would be a good time to do it.
We thought they might with Elseworlds. That was our prediction with Elseworlds, which was a perfect time to do it. You agreed and it'd be good.
Did I? When?
You should listen back to that episode. It was one of our earlier episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
I was probably drunk.
I was drunk. I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but there's so many possibilities. I loved it. Man, you
definitely.
obviously loved it. Like,
I'm probably gonna go back and just rewatch it again.
you know, we've practically done an entire fucking episode.
Probably,
15
yeah.
minutes
It's been long.
Okay.
All right.
So we got to move on.
Well, since we're talking about alternate realities and alternate universes, that's a pretty good segue.
Yeah,
into
to
our
talk
next
about
topic.
what I don't want to call the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time yet.
I'll say it now. As of right now, it's because you watched it just last night. I watched it. I think it was a whole extra 24 hours on top of you. And I still think it's probably the best Spider-Man movie I've seen yet.
It was really, really good. We're gonna do non-spoilers first.
No,
we're gonna do non-spoilers because like there's a lot we could talk about because people already know alternate versions of Spider-Man are in this. A lot of them have been in the trailers and stuff, so there's no spoilers there and stuff. What do you think about the story, like how they played out?
It was
story?
Everything about this movie. The visuals were fucking gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous.
It was really like they put like this matte layer on the characters as if it were like a comic book, like the old school dotted comic book type look. It's so good.
And one thing that like was kept throwing me off, like I knew that they were doing like the dotted type of art, but like some things that was in like the foreground, like right close, looked almost like doubled. You know what I mean? Like kind of blurry. So I'm like, wait a minute, did we get the 3D version? And both my boys had 3D glasses just because they wanted 3D glasses. So I kept putting them on, trying to watch. I'm like, no, it's not 3D. Like, are you sure? Like,
it forces your perspective to where it wants you to look.
They want you to focus on.
Which is interesting, but also at times annoying, especially because at least during the early parts of the movie, about half an hour in, you're used to it.
Yeah, if they continued it after the first 15, 20 minutes, half hour, I just didn't notice it. I was already used to it by that point.
But it is jarring at first because that's new.
Oh,
that's
yeah. And then like the animation on certain Spider characters, like Spider-Ham was very cartoony.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Noir's looked like Spider-Man Noir comic.
Very gothic.
Spider-Gwen, if you go look at like side by sides, like
she
like,
looked,
seriously, it was very
like a smoother animation. Penny Parker,
it was very anime-esque.
With the SP-DR robot.
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, very anime. I love that. And it gives me thoughts about the potential sequel, which has been confirmed, actually.
That post-credits scene.
Yeah, we'll get there. But no, I love that they weren't afraid to take these chances.
Oh, no.
And I feel like they were only allowed, and it came out as well as it did, because Sony looked at it like, this is just a stupid cartoon movie. We don't have to mess with it. Yeah. And by doing that, they ended up making...
and they made references to everything.
Everything. Yeah.
A bunch of Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe references. There's a lot of real life references, like Spider-Man merchandising for real life.
Yeah.
There's meme references. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things.
What did you think about the villains in this?
Dude, loved it.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was explaining a little bit to Odle without trying to spoil anything, because I'm really excited for the post-credits scene for Odle to watch that, because we know how he would feel.
Yeah.
But I won't tell him. I just told him.
Right.
I just told him who the voice actor was that did the voice of that character. Which, by the way, Oscar Isaac.
Yeah. I found that out this morning.
Dude, there's actually some like the Peter Parker of that universe, not the one that comes into play that like is a big part, but the first one that we're introduced to. Do you know who does that voice?
Oh, it's Chris Pine.
Chris Pine, dude, yes.
I knew he sounded familiar while I was watching it, but I wanted to focus on the story, so I tried to push it out of my head.
I mean, there's a lot of voice actors that I'm like, oh, fuck, I didn't know they were in this.
But these villains...
But those villains, dude. What I was getting into was, I explained, like, the Green Goblin to Odle, and he's like, oh, so it's like the ultimate version. Yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know, but he was dope. He was this big fucking gargoyle-esque goblin.
A lot of the villains are very Ultimate Universe version, because that's pretty much where we're at, is the Ultimate Universe here, because that is where Miles Morales was first introduced and eventually became the one and only Spider-Man. But these villains for me, like you've got your side villains, like we don't get much time with them, but you don't really have to. Who gives a shit? Yeah. But our two bigger villains in this, Prowler and the Kingpin, they did a great job making those emotional.
Which, by the way, do you know who did the voices of both of them? You do?
You're like a walking IMDb over here.
Well, because I was looking at the IMDb.
Yeah, who did the voices for them?
I'll hold off on the Prowler because that might be a spoiler.
Okay.
Because there's a certain character reveal. God damn it, I've already blanked on his name. He plays in Scream.
Liev Schreiber.
Sorry?
Liev Schreiber.
Liev Schreiber?
Schreiber, yeah.
Yeah.
You know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He that's Kingpin.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that. He layered it on there. They did a great job of making me give a shit about those villains and their motivations. One of their motivations, one of their connections to one of our characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely enjoyed that too. How'd you feel about the action?
Oh, it was fucking gorgeous.
I think
it really was.
At times, the animation style hindered it a bit.
You think?
Especially during that last fight. Like, there was a lot going on, and it was
very
too fast.
Overstimulating.
Yeah, way too overstimulating.
If I was baked, I would have been like, I'm checking out. I'm right now.
Now, some of the earlier stuff, some of those simpler fights, that fight in the house where when you catch a glimpse of what's going on, it's awesome and it looks great. But then, like, your attention is immediately focused somewhere else. I feel like,
but there's so much going on.
Well, I don't think it's just that. I think it's the animation style too.
I'll have to see on like a second watch, but I thoroughly enjoyed the action. I mean, even things that weren't like fight scenes, like Miles first kind of testing out his powers.
Those were fantastic.
Or like
moments.
after like the big like third act like found yourself type of moment.
Yeah.
Like full well, I won't say exactly, but like the things that
we've seen it in the trailer.
Oh,
he
that's
gets
right,
his
that's
own
right, that's
costume.
right.
Yeah,
The full suit. When actually that exact scene where he comes off the glass is in the trailer, so I can get.
And I love that they waited so long to give him that too. He stays in that janky costume.
And I dig that it wasn't like a costume that was already there. That he's like, oh, okay, that's sweet. I want that one, because I mean, it looks like his comic book counterpart costume.
Yeah,
but it's just like he's like, nope, rattle can,
yeah.
like. And you couldn't really tell on some shots, but whenever it's more closer up, you could see like the overspray a little bit here and there. Like it was, I dug it.
Yeah.
I dug it. The only thing I kept thinking is like, you were in a full face mask that you just spray painted. You're high as fuck. Like,
you think maybe like his
are you in a well ventilated area?
Do you think maybe his spider metabolism helps him at all?
No, he was high.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Why else would he jump off a building?
He did seem way more chill.
You're right. I told you.
He's high as fuck. No, the movie was great though, guys. For real, check it out.
There was a lot of like character development to the point where you gave a fuck about a lot of these characters.
Much. Yes. They take their time.
There was a lot of like really like heart-wrenching moments that you felt like you were gonna cry. I went with Brittany. Brittany and the boys all went. And like I think before Brittany went in, she's like, okay, well, it's Spider-Man, but it's a cartoon, so whatever. Like there's points that she would like the big like, oh my god, he did it type moments. She was over there like, yay! You know what I mean? Like she got invested in it. And to me, like that's something that like watching. Of course, I'm going to be invested in it. You're going to be invested in it. Maybe even our kids, because like they're like, oh fuck yeah, it's Spider-Man.
It's fucking
and it's a cartoon.
Spider-Man.
It's awesome. But like somebody that like appreciates this kind of genre, but isn't like as balls deep as like what we are, seeing them get like that, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a very good movie.
It's powerful.
Honestly, like not only is this probably the best Spider-Man movie to date for me, I think next to one other new movie that came out this year that I watched, this is probably my favorite movie this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what it's up there on par with? I mean, granted, two completely different movies. But a movie that even after I left, like, I'm like, ooh, okay. I'm listening to the soundtrack because that was a dope fucking soundtrack. I'm looking up all information on it. I'm watching videos on it. The other movie I watched that like I was that invested in was A Star Is Born.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
And if you haven't watched that, great fucking movie.
I've been trying to branch out, watch other movies. Like I went and saw First Man, and that was really good.
First Man.
It's a movie about Neil Armstrong.
Oh, okay.
It's not, and there was this big controversy around it. It might have been why you heard about it at all, is because they decided not to put in the planting the flag scene, and it's because it's his story. It's a story about him, not America going to the moon.
Yeah.
But man, when they do the moon landing scene, fuck, that was powerful. I would say that's probably the most powerful piece of cinema I've seen.
Oh,
Not
really?
my favorite movie, but most effective moment in a film I've seen this year. First Man.
Oh yeah.
But I think I like Avengers Infinity War better because there's 10 years of build up. There's way more investment in these characters, way more at stake.
Okay, see, Infinity War is one of those things that's like, I think the reason why we loved it so much is because it's a sequel to fucking 10 years worth of movies.
Yeah.
Like, if you just go watch Infinity War by itself, haven't watched anything else in the MCU lineup, you wouldn't fucking understand what's happening. You probably wouldn't even enjoy yourself. It doesn't hold your hand. Yeah, no. But, yeah, I mean, as far as
so you're saying unobjectively, like, just as a movie, it is better? I can see that, Yeah, I can definitely see that. So our suggestion, obviously, go see it, especially if you're a comic book fan.
If you're a comic book fan, if you're a parent and you have kids, bring your kids. If you're a parent and you have kids and you don't want to bring your kids, don't bring your fucking kids. Like, you don't, I mean, and that's another thing that I mentioned is that, like, visually, very bright, very vibrant. But tonally, there's a lot of parts that are pretty dark. Like, that are, you know what I mean, that are very adult-esque. Like, but all in all, man, great fucking flick.
And I think that is the perfect place for us to go into spoilers, because that's maybe the first thing I want to talk about here. So here's your spoiler warning. Again, time code is down below. Actually, it doesn't matter because I don't put a time code for the ending. So
fuck 'em.
You can just stop listening.
Yeah, it's like right now. This is your warning. We don't have to put it in writing.
Unless you really want to jump ahead to our social media advertisement.
Yeah, there's nothing else from here on out.
But
off.
Tonally, some of the dark things that happen, let's talk about number one. And for those who read the Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man books, they know this is how it was going to go down. Spider-Man dies.
Peter Parker dies. The Peter Parker of whatever, Earth...
1606, something like that. I can't remember that. I know 616 is the main Marvel continuity.
And then the MCU continuity is like, I don't know. I heard it just the other day, but it's a long number. So I don't give a fuck. 616 is main continuity. That's all I give a fuck about.
The way he goes down, it's shortly after Miles gets his powers, and he goes out fighting. It was insane. But
she didn't see it. Brittany, whenever me and Brittany went, like I think she ran out to the bathroom or went to go like grab my kids Pringles or something. She didn't see that, but like just that fucking like mushed him, bro.
Kingpin coming down on him, you felt it. And
the crazy thing about it is at the end, whenever he does that to Miles, like I thought like she was gonna cry. Like she was like, oh my god. And she didn't even see what happened earlier in the movie. So she didn't know that's exactly how Peter died at the beginning of the flick. So like that just shows you like you get a big behemoth motherfucker that does that to somebody, you're like, oh, they're dead.
And speaking to Chris Pine's credit, like this guy is such a phenomenal actor,
he was,
voice or otherwise.
And I want more of that Peter.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because he's like, listen, like let me teach you, or I can't remember what exactly he said, but like
their little interactions.
Like,
I'll show you the ropes.
I'll show you the ropes
real quick.
Let me finish this real quick, and you know, I'll get back to you.
let me. What was that like? But real quick, I gotta stop this interdimensional portal from causing a black hole destroy Brooklyn.
Right.
But when he's asking him, he's giving him the goober, as the other Peter ends up calling it. Just the desperation and the feeling. He knows he's about to die. He knows he's not making it out of this one, and he's putting it all on this kid in this just dire situation that everything is riding on, and just that all comes through his voice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't, like, if you didn't even see the scenes before or after, you just saw that clip, you would feel the importance of everything going on without knowing the details of why.
Yeah.
And that's all in his voice. I loved it. Holy shit. I just gave myself goosebumps talking about that. But, yeah, he was great. And then we meet... shortly afterwards, the new Peter Parker, the other Peter Parker.
Which, actually, you watched Venom, correct?
Yes.
You stayed around for the post-credits scene, not the mid-credits scene, but the post-credits. We seen most of that scene in post-credits scene.
Yeah.
Where he was drunk through the fucking city, like, on the subway, which was fantastic.
I loved it.
And here's the thing, like, I've seen Miles in a lot of things. Like that Spider-Man and, like, a lot of, like, other little stories and stuff like that. I didn't know... 2 of his powers are electroshock.
He has a
and
Venom
invisibility.
touch that is kind of like a shocking type thing. But honestly, in any of the books I've ever read, I don't think I've ever seen him go invisible.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if that's new for this or if it was just an Ultimate Spider-Man book thing, but it's new to me.
Okay,
But it was
okay.
cool.
Yeah.
I liked the way they did that. And they did draw, and speaking more to his character development, like, it took a while before he learned those powers.
Oh, yeah.
I loved
like,
how
it literally
they drew
took
that out.
the end of the 3rd act.
Because there's that big moment right before they're about to go to the big battle
Where it's like, it's fucking ride or die right now. It's fucking
Peter Parker puts him in his place. He's like, all right, well, you know, like...
go invisible.
Yeah, go invisible. Shock me right now. Take the drive from me and go. And he can't do it. It's really... Fuck.
And, like, another thing is we're going to jump back to the beginning. References in the let me tell you my story intros, you know what I mean? Like
I
love
that.
Let's talk about some of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man references. There's the train stopping scene.
Yeah.
I can't remember whether or not it's Miles's universe as Peter or the other
The
Peter.
train stopping
But
scene
there's
was
the ones
Miles's
I'm going to be
universe.
talking about. Yeah. I know that there's some in both.
Yeah.
We got the train stopping scene. We have the scene where Doc Ock throws a car into the diner when he's with Mary Jane. We have the dancing down the fucking street from Spider-Man 3 scene.
Well, that was other universe Peter.
Well, then the other universe Peter also had the upside down kiss scene.
They both did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
In
I must have
Miles's
missed it.
universe, it was Mary Jane upside down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
and in the other...
which makes some sense because everything's a little off.
See, the funny thing, another funny little tag to the other Peter, who screwed up his life. That's like one of the things. That's why he's so disheveled and kind of like a homeless guy.
And he's like scruff on his face. He has a gut.
Yeah, he has a gut because he ends up like ruining things with MJ and like just letting himself go. And like, this is like 20 years into his career.
And he lost a lot of money for investing in TGI Spideys.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fun.
But when they show his origin story, it's like all the bad things from Sam Raimi's thing, except for the kiss, because that was the way it was from Sam Raimi. But he did the dance and like all the stupid shit.
And I remember seeing in a video that there was a reference to like the Tom Holland Spider-Man in one of them. I can't remember what it was, but
I didn't catch that one.
Oh, I know it was kind of a reference to like whenever he's like webbed out on each side trying to put the ship back together, but he's holding like cars or something.
No,
like
I think it's 2 boats or something.
Yeah,
or maybe it's buses or something. But yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically the Miles Morales as Peter Parker was like Spider-Man having done everything right. The city loves him. Like he's a huge hero. When he dies,
he did a Christmas album, and that's actually a somewhat reference to a real life album.
Oh my god, I forgot
There's a
about
real
the
life
Christmas album.
There's a real life Spider-Man album, and it's called like Rock of like Reflections or something, but it came out 60s or 70s or something, but it's actually supposed to be Spider-Man like with like some rock tunes.
Well, they did,
and on the back of this vinyl, dude, like the video I was watching, they showed the sleeve of it, and the back of it has like Luke Cage playing a guitar, has Silver Surfer with the fucking keyboard on his surfboard, like all these like I want to find it now.
I want that so
I
bad.
want it. So do I. It's probably super expensive. They showed the fucking Spider-Man popsicle, and coming from a guy that has worked on an ice cream truck, those actually look that bad.
Yeah,
they do.
I remember. I loved the Ninja Turtle ones.
Oh yeah.
Those are so good.
Yeah.
With the bubblegum eyeballs and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bubblegum is horrible.
Oh, it was awful. And it was always way too hard to chew.
Oh yeah, because it's frozen. And then once you do get it chewed, like it doesn't taste like anything.
Why did I get? But you always wanted one.
Oh yeah.
Like I kept coming back to them.
Like the ice cream part of it wasn't that bad. I liked them. Yeah.
Well, anyways, bringing it back to the death of Peter Parker. Another scene I just remembered. When they show everyone finding out on their phones, it reminded me of like how the world stood still a little bit with the death of Superman and stuff, because their world stood still because the death of a hero had happened. When they show the eulogy, the big thing, at, like I don't know if it was
and
like
Mary
City
Jane's
Hall
up there
or something.
talking, and like before we even get to that, because everybody's standing around a Spider-Man mess, Miles goes and purchases a Spider-Man costume that he actually wears throughout most of the movie.
We gotta talk about this.
But the fact that he goes into Stan's comics or Stan's costume store or costume shop, it was Stan something, but it was fucking Stan Lee, man.
Yeah.
And being able to hear his voice again.
Not only that, but it's what he says. It's like, God damn it, did he know he was going? Because
I like, to be completely honest, I think Stan's been preparing, at least within the past, pretty much since his wife died.
Yeah.
That his time is coming.
Yeah, because between his cameo in the Spider-Man video game and now his cameo in this, and maybe it's just because it's Spider-Man.
Maybe, yeah.
And he has that deep connection, and it is what kind of started it, like the explosion of Stan Lee. That makes it just that much more meaningful for him. But everything he said in that moment, I felt like he was his goodbye to Spider-Man.
And jumping at the very end of the movie, like as soon as like the animated credits right at the end of the movie stopped and it was going to the scrolling credits, that Stan Lee quote with the glasses, dude. Like,
the tribute to it had the Stan Lee quote that, god damn, I wish I could remember this. I need to memorize this quote.
I've seen that quote multiple times.
It basically says that all of us have the potential to be a hero, to make that decision. And then the loving quote, the loving tribute to Stanley and Steve Ditko, who we both lost this year. Man, that was just great.
Fuck your feelings. Kick him in the balls.
Let's talk a little more about the villains.
Since we're talking about death, and I kind of cut you off, but like that big eulogy with Mary Jane.
Yes.
And when she's like, there's pretty much like she said, like there's a hero in all of us, or like I need you to be a hero. She needs me to be a hero, bro. I think that was just like a metaphor. I don't think she's actually talking to you.
But the visual scope of that, the streets being flooded with people,
and like you made the reference of like the death of Superman. Like everybody wearing the Spider-Man mask felt like the black armband with the Superman logo on
because
it.
At least amongst nerds, I don't know how many like regular everyday people were wearing them. But that was a thing that went on for a while. People were wearing their black armband that they got in their packaged copy of The Death of Superman.
If they opened it up, because they knew it was going to be worth a lot of money one day.
Oh, so much money. I think I bought one for $1 once. I think in the last 10 years. Yeah. But yeah, what else do we want to talk about? Surprise villain, didn't know she was in the film. Dr. Octopus.
Yeah. And the fact that it was like female, like I said, I don't know anything about the Ultimate Universe.
I don't think she's female in the Ultimate Universe. I think this was just a gender swap for this film.
The voice actress for that, do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. She's been in things like, was it Bad Moms? But Step Brothers.
Okay.
John C. Reilly's brother. No. Scratch that. Will Ferrell's brother.
Yeah.
The dickhead. His wife, the one that's trying to fuck John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
That's her.
Oh, she's so good.
Her. I love her. She's in like
a
Chrysler Pacifica commercial now that is fucking hilarious, dude.
She is really funny chick. And she was really sinister in this.
Oh god,
More like she wasn't really funny. I feel like there were parts that were intended to be funny, but they came off like more villainous.
Yeah.
She was great.
The Scorpion.
Scorpion,
the Hispanic Scorpion, which, why haven't they done that before?
That may be an Ultimate Universe thing, too. I'm not 100% sure.
But apparently the voice actor of that is a pretty big actor, too. Yeah. I just don't know him. Like I said, I fucking IMDb'd all this shit earlier
and then,
today.
Wilson, how do you feel about Wilson Fisk's motivations and why he wants this collider to work?
It's better than just like, why we'll control 2 universes.
Yeah.
Like, no, he's trying to bring his dead family back.
Yeah, who died because of his actions.
Yeah, while he's trying to fuck up Spider-Man, like his family sees him, freaks the fuck out, like, oh my god, he's a monster, and they go to take off, and they get fucking macked. And like I said, there's a lot of things in this movie that is kind of dark,
I didn't see that coming either. That was out of nowhere to me.
They got hit? Because the second they started running off, I'm like, oh, they're going to die in a car wreck.
I thought maybe they just left him.
No.
The
second I seen them, like, especially running off and get into a car, I'm like, they're going. I thought she was just going to lose control. I didn't see her getting macked.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to be the optimistic one in the movie theater there, Bob.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, it was so surprising to me, anyways. I guess. But then Prowler. I already knew this because of the comic books that I have read, and I'm aware enough of the things that took place in the Ultimate Universe. But the Prowler turns out to be Miles' uncle.
Okay. Which, do you know who the voice actor of that is?
Who was the voice
guy
actor?
who plays Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I love that. And it adds more to Miles' tragedy.
I didn't see this coming.
Yeah.
Brittany apparently did. Well, she says she did. I don't think she did. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No. Because she said it. Literally, like, right before he pulls off the mask, she's like, oh my god, it's his uncle! Like, it doesn't count.
It does count.
It doesn't count. Because by then, I'm like, you're gonna find out in literally
Did you see him dying, though? Did you see this one dying? Do you think?
No.
No. I knew enough to know that he might die.
I mean, really, if you're going to be a Spider-Man, somebody close to you has to die.
But I felt like they were going to play it out a little bit more because it's kind of like they realize who each other is because Miles reveals himself to the Prowler first.
Right when the Prowler's about to just drop him.
Prowler takes off his mask.
But by that point, Miles already knew who the Prowler was because of the whole him sneaking into the apartment to tell his uncle or to confide in his uncle. I can't remember what it was exactly. Or no, then Prowler shows up, and that's what it was. That's why he started hiding, and then he.
And I really didn't know what he was gonna do in that moment. Like you see,
you didn't know if he was gonna drop him or not.
I didn't know if he was still gonna drop him, fuck him up. Like what was gonna happen here, and then
you still don't know what he was gonna do because he got shot. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I think it was pretty clear by that point that he was letting him go. Because he puts his mask back on to hide him, hide his identity.
No, I felt like he put his mask back on as like a You know, I mean, with your mask on, you're just Spider-Man. With your mask off, you are Miles.
That's what I was feeling too. But then once he let him go and he put his hands up and he started backing off, that's when I knew. I was like, "Holy shit, mercy,
mercy."
But yeah, wow. Just okay. So what else do we want to talk about here? We got Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
The fact that they did touch on the fact that like her Peter Parker became the Lizard.
Yeah.
And died. Was I'm glad that
that is actually out of her comics.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad that they're bringing in like actual bits of their all their stories.
I missed the other characters' origin stories because that was when I missed the reveal of Aunt May, dude.
What?
Yeah.
Dude.
I went to go get refills because Vin asked me to.
I'm trying to remember who did. There's another big actress that does Aunt May too.
Lily Tomlin.
Thank you, Lily Tomlin. I love that Aunt May. I love the fact that whenever the fight's going on, she's like, "Oh, fuck this!" and pulls. What was it, a baseball bat?
Not in the house.
Boom.
Yeah, they bring in the spider cave and everything. Mm-hmm. So tell me about the origin stories of the other guys.
The other ones they're all kind of introduced at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind
of stuff.
It was kind of hard to keep track of because they were literally like layering them over each other, and then they're just like because like while they're saying like I got bit by a radioactive spider, Like they were, all three of them were saying at the same time, except
Yeah.
for Spider-Hams, which was a radioactive pig. And like,
Because wasn't he a spider who got bit by a pig or something?
I can't remember. No, I think maybe he was a pig that got bit by a radioactive pig
Oh.
or some shit. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of like the only thing I caught was like Piper Potts or Piper Parker,
Penny Parker.
Penny, whatever the fuck, the fucking anime one. It was her dad's robot, the spider that bit her, or no, there's the spider was controlling this robot type. I don't know.
You know what? Like,
know.
I just want to hear you.
You just want me
explain
to
all
like try to explain shit that I wasn't really.
At first, I was like, "Oh God, I'm gonna cut this whole part out." But the more confused you got, like, the
Yeah.
better it got.
But going into Spider-Man Noir real quick, dude. Like, whenever I first heard Nicolas Cage is going to do the voice, I'm like, oh God, this is going to be
But
just
he
like a
was
joke,
so
dude. It
funny.
was great.
The
It
fact
was
that
great.
he can't see in color, and he's fucking with that Rubik's,
Rubik's Cube, yes.
Pink? No,
No, he's like, I'm going to take this with me. Figure it.
I don't understand it, but I will. He was so funny, so great. Which is great because they could have played that character so like there's enough darkness in this film. They could have made him Batman.
They played him serious.
Yeah.
But he was funny because he was so serious.
Yeah.
Like, and he was so like.
Like, you didn't feel like he was making jokes, but in the context of his surroundings, like, he was funny.
It's kind of like Thor prior to Ragnarok.
Yeah, the fish out of water.
Yeah,
He's a fish out of water. Yeah.
It's like because he doesn't like understand certain things that's funny.
Yeah.
Like the certain circumstances he's in.
I'm glad I got to see him. Aunt May was really cool. She was a scene stealer.
She was.
Yeah, every time she's there. When he comes back, like when Miles comes back to the cave to get the suit, which is how he gets his suit, is he spray paints one of the Spider-Man costumes, which so many great references in there. Spider Armor Mark IV.
You had the big Iron Spider.
Iron Spider.
The big time stealth suit.
Yep.
There's even a what if. The one with the cape was from a what if. Yes. It's like what if Spider-Man wasn't a hero?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
The video game suit was in there.
Yeah, the new Sony video game suit.
Yeah.
There's a few of there's a few of them that like I recognized. I wasn't sure what they were from.
There was one that was inverted. With blue and red instead of red and blue.
Yeah. You did say the spider armor, right?
So the yellow spider armor was in there. That's the Mark IV version.
No, the Mark 1, the one where it's black and silver. That was in there too.
Oh man, yeah, a lot of cool suits.
What was it? Was it the spider car, spider buggy, whatever?
Yeah, I missed that reference. I heard about it in a video I was watching this morning, but yeah, I missed that reference.
No, that wasn't there. He had like a spider cycle. I'm trying to remember what else.
So much good.
Oh yeah, it was fun though.
I wonder if this was the Peter Parker who founded Parker Industries or not, because that's how he got a lot of cool shit.
I don't know.
Like after he did that, that's how he got the glowing spider emblem suit.
You talking about the big time one?
No.
No. The glow one from like the
Dan
Alex
Slott.
Ross cover.
The Dan Slott continuation run. So much good stuff there. Anything else you want to talk about? I feel like we've covered a lot of this.
I think we have two.
Any other standout moments?
Post-credits scene? You want to talk about post-credits scene, or you want to hold that off?
If we're bringing this to a close.
Of anything else. I like a lot of the alternate universe stuff you see in the Times Square billboards. There was, the musician Weekend. His Starboy, like the yellow background with like the red. You wouldn't know.
Speaking Greek to me. Yeah.
Brittany definitely knows. But there was, I think it was called, I can't remember what the name was, but it wasn't that. There's a Chance the Rapper poster in Miles's room, and in that photo he has a number 3 on the hat. That's his third mixtape. In this universe, there's a 4. Like, he has a whole... there's a lot of things that are very reminiscent of real-life ads and such.
Okay, yeah. That
Starboy,
does look
yeah.
familiar. I'm looking at the Starboy album now.
But in the movie, first off, the red and yellow were flipped.
Yeah.
Like it was a yellow background with red letters, and I can't remember what it said.
No,
Maybe
I
like
don't know.
kissing or something like that.
It was stand out enough for me to remember it being in the film, but like I didn't
Because
know
it was
what I
like the
looking
main
at.
billboard
Yeah.
in the center of Times Square, and
Yeah.
then there was a scene where he's walking down the street, and there's like posters up on the side of a building. Like, we said that somebody like pasted up there.
Yeah, and from what people tell me, the soundtrack in this is really good. I've
is
seen the
very
film,
good.
I heard the soundtrack, but it's not my music.
Yeah, it's definitely not your cup of tea. There's only one song that like I kind of skipped through because I'm glad that Brittany feels the same. I'm not a big Nicki Minaj fan,
Yeah.
so that's the one I've skipped through. But yeah, there's some really good ones in there.
Yeah, I mean, not that like
It's just not
anything-
your.
there-
It's just not. It's
not that anything I heard
right.
was like I was like, God damn! What,
And it
what are they
definitely
doing?
fit very well
Yeah.
within the movie.
It was
I
all
felt-
a lot of it was really chill and stuff.
yeah.
And like this
And
is
some of
something
them are
that could
original
be on.
songs.
Yeah.
Like the song that Miles was singing when he has the headphones on and he's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, and the same one that he's like humming whenever he's trying to like lose grip.
Yeah, it's actually
That's
kind
actually
of
a Post Malone song that was made for that.
It's a theme throughout the movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That song keeps coming up.
Other than that,
Yeah.
like some of the like they showed like certain comic covers.
Yes. No, actually, I love that you brought that up. I forgot to.
There's one
because-
that was it's supposed to be like a call to like what if, but it was called something else. I can't
Well,
remember
they
what it was.
they had a lot of them. All like almost every comic book cover you see in this
Is a real comic.
legitimate comic.
Titles are different.
Yeah, like I
Like
think
Amazing
the-
Fantasies was.
Well, I
like
think
the-
all of the Spider-Man comics in the Miles Morales universe are called the True Tales of
the True
Spider-Man.
Tales of Spider-Man.
Yeah. So, but like they change with
Mm-hmm.
each one of their origin stories and shit. Yeah, I loved that little touch. How could we forget to mention this? Like more to the comic book aesthetic, you see sound effect noises.
Yeah,
like
not only do you
whip-
see the onomatopoeia, but right at the
Onomatopoeia, that's
right at
right.
the beginning of the film, the comics code
Yeah, so,
stamp right at the very beginning.
When I saw that, I grinned. I went, "Nice."
Yeah, it was good.
I
Oh.
said it audibly in the theater.
Did you know that who one of the executive producers are? You probably did. Brian Michael Bendis.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. And I love that you brought that up because I noticed in Miles's phone
and
B.
the contact
Bendis.
B. Bendis. Yeah.
Fantastic. I had to explain that to Vin. It's
Well,
like, yeah.
I mean-
No, that was fantastic.
Like I love that
but
they did have him
had-
as an executive producer. Like who better than the creator of Miles Morales?
They had monologue speech bubbles.
yeah.
that
And I
would
love
show
that
up.
after Miles got his powers and his internal monologue, his internal thoughts were popping up as like word panels.
And not in a Deadpool like
No,
fourth wall way, but in a this is a comic book
Yeah.
movie way.
Can everybody else hear my thoughts while they're popping up and shit? Like
So
I feel like going back to like when you're talking about like the action and stuff, like the flips and the acrobatics of this film was fucking visually gorgeous.
everything you would want to see from
yeah.
Spider-Man. The kind of things that make the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game so enjoyable just swinging around are the
Whipping
kind
around.
of things you see in this. So they really nailed the spirit of this movie, this character, all of these characters. I felt like everything from the pages that I've read or the pages that I've been familiar with came to life.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think they could have done it better in live action. If anything, I feel like maybe it would have been worse.
I think
in live
they
action.
definitely could not do everything from this film live action.
Don't get me wrong. I want to see a live action Miles Morales, but
Please.
maybe I don't want to see a live action Spider-Man Noir. Like I feel like this was the way.
And
to
you
see
can't.
that.
How can you do a live action Spider-Ham?
You can't.
No.
You got to throw him in there CGI. It'd be weird as hell.
Yeah. And I do want to see a live action Spider-Gwen as well.
Yeah. Now, speaking of live action, I want to talk about something live action, but before we can get into that, we got to talk about the end credits scene.
The post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Okay. First off, whenever they first reveal just the arm before they the full body shot, and you see like the fins coming off the arm.
I knew before
didn't-
that.
Oh yeah.
I knew before that because she said Miguel.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
I knew Miguel.
Instantly, I'm like, hold on. wait, does that mean? And then they showed the arm, and literally, I think I'm the only person in the theater. I threw both my fucking hands up. I'm like, yes, yes.
If you're gonna yell off mic.
Sorry, forgot.
But well, it's been a while for you.
Yeah.
Anyways, no. But yeah, as soon as she said Miguel, the very first, as if it were like a Miles Morales speech bubble, I said O'Hara, and and then the arm popped in. And I was like, God, Spider-Man 2099, yes, fantastic. So this throws up the sequel. Like this is like sequels happening, guys.
But the fact that they throw him right into the 1960s.
Why is that the first universe he goes to? Oh my god!
And it felt like a good solid like couple minutes of like the stop pointing at me. You're pointing at me. You're pointing at.
That's very rude. And then they finally show the only J. Jonah Jameson in the whole film. And it's the 60s cartoon one. Oh god, that was so funny.
It was.
Not only do I hope we get to see that version in the future film, but it opens the door for so much more Spider-Man in the next one, because a lot of us were disappointed. There was no Tobey Maguire, no Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, whatever. We were really voting for those other two, but
especially if we just get them in animated form. We don't have to have like a slice in like some live action.
That's what I'm saying is. I would love to see them in there as live action, because the way they showed that they can diversify the style, like even if they've got to throw up like kind of a filter to smooth them into it a bit, like I feel like now's the time. Now we have the technology to make that work better than ever. This is a $4 million live action cameo. We have the technology. We could do it better. But yeah, I want to see both of them in live action. And if you want to throw Tom Holland in there, that's fine. You know what? Let's bring the 70s one in.
Let's bring the Japanese version. Was it Japanese or Chinese? You know what I'm
the Japanese Spider-Man. Yeah. But that opens the door for that, because now we're not just talking about like these accidental characters came through. Now we have options. He can jump to where he wants to go, which means he can bring whoever he wants, and why not, have them
even just like a quick cameo.
Just jumping into their worlds. Although I would absolutely love to see those two Spider-Men interact, even if it's just jumping into their worlds, which jumping back into the whole of the movie again. Did you notice Aunt May's house was the Sam Raimi house?
I didn't.
Yeah, even the garage in the back that is the spider cave and shit. Yeah, the shed. It was 100%. Yeah, that house. So yeah, that's what I want to see from the sequel. I want to see those live action cameos, because whatever else they do, if it's the same team and Sony isn't fucking with them, then it's gonna be great.
Sony, dude, by the time like this is out of theaters, they're gonna make a shit ton of money. I don't know what it's at right now.
Well, but there was an unfortunate amount of people in my theater, because like it wasn't empty, but it was just like a small smattering of people.
Kind of with us too.
In a big auditorium.
We were up in Ashland Cinemark.
Same place I saw it. Yeah.
But I mean, they've had to have made good money on this compared to what they put into it.
And with it being an animation budget, I mean, you've got some like tall order voices there, so I mean, they spent a dime on that alone.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe a lot of these people were like, "Oh no, fuck yeah, this is fun. Let's do this."
They gotta do more than break even on this one.
Oh god, yeah.
And they've already said they're making the sequel. So that's what I want to see is some of that live action.
Extremely enjoyable movie. Like, definitely go watch it.
100%.
I'm buying this bitch as soon as it comes out.
Oh yeah, but I'm going 4K. I got the new TV.
Oh yeah.
4K TV. I'm buying the 4K Blu-ray, man.
Look at you fancy, huh?
Well, I got Avengers on 4K
by accident. So you had to go buy a whole TV.
No, I was like, it's only a few dollars more on the Disney Movie Club. I
mean, if you got the 4K TV and you got something to play 4K on, which you do.
Well, I got the 4K TV because of that. It's a long story. But yeah. All right. I think that's going to do it for this one. One second. I forgot to open the fucking script.
Jesus Christ, Vinny.
Oh, yeah, because it's me adding to the bulk of editing.
Yeah.
Okay, where is it? It's on 60.
You can go ahead and say you're sorry because all this is getting cut out.
Yeah, I had the wrong.
She's back there like
folder
mouthing.
open.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
You should really start listening to the show. Not this one. It was too long.
Yeah, this
I'll
is
listen.
really long. Y'all gotta cut this up into 2.
Maybe not. Maybe.
No,
I don't
I'm
know.
just gonna do the whole thing. Fuck it. I don't have time to make 2.
What time is it?
7:30.
Really?
We were
gotta-
recording for about an hour and a half. So guys, like this episode if you liked it, subscribe if you loved it. You're checking this out somewhere. While here, why not like, comment your thoughts on today's stories, these movies, the crossover, anything down below. And of course, share this episode. It's the best way to get us out in front of people. And hit that bell on YouTube if you want to know when the newest episodes are up. Like our nerd news page, Sort of My Comics on Facebook, and follow Sort of My Podcast on Instagram. Check out Subject to Change Entertainment on Facebook and Twitter, and all of our personal social media is down in the description below. My name is Vincent Herman, Vin The Human. Thank you very much for joining me today, Bob Collins, Bobb-A Fett.
You're very welcome, sir. Anytime.
And it's time to cue that universally... nope. Time to cue that multiversal outro music.
Meow, meow, meow.